Let me explain success and failure to you. Failure is when you make a few mistakes every day, over and over again. Now, let's think about it. Imagine making these mistakes every single day for 6 whole years. Let me tell you a story about my father. He's 88 years old and he's never been sick. He still hasn't retired. Just the other night, at midnight, we were getting ready for bed. We had just drilled a new well, got some extra water, and expanded our land. My dad was really happy. We call it his midnight snack. Right before bed, he has a little something to eat so he doesn't go to bed feeling hungry. I watched my father eat his midnight snack. Want to know what he had? An apple, a few graham crackers, and a glass of grapefruit juice. I thought, my father is so healthy. My mom taught us all those good health habits when I was growing up. I'm an only child, and I've never been sick. I turned 50 not too long ago. My 2 daughters are 32 and 33 years old, and they've never been sick either. Even my grandkids have never been sick. That's the legacy of good health habits that my family follows. Eating an apple every day can keep you healthy. When I saw my dad having his midnight snack, I thought about the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Now, think about it, what if that's true? You might say, well, if it's true, it should be easy to do, right? So what's the problem? Well, here's the thing, the guy messed up. It's easy to ignore good habits like eating an apple every day. Some people might say it's okay to have a Hershey bar every day instead. But that's not smart. You need to be smarter than that. If you keep making that mistake every day for 6 years, it'll lead to big problems. Mistakes add up and lead to big problems. Sometimes, in the first year, you might think, well, I'm healthy now, so what's the harm? But you've got to be smarter than that. Just because you don't see the disaster right away doesn't mean it won't happen. You need to think ahead and ask yourself, what will my mistakes cost me in the future, next year, in 6 years, in a month, or in 6 months? I'm telling you, the cost, whether it's money, health, or success, is huge if you don't think about the long-term effects of your choices. Take a look at your current decisions. Are they like choosing between an apple and a Hershey bar? If they are, you might end up where I was at age 25. I started working when I was 19. When I was 25 years old, after 6 years, I met a teacher who changed my life. At the end of those first 6 years, I had hardly any money, nothing saved up, and creditors were calling me, saying, "You promised to pay us, but we haven't received anything." I felt embarrassed and couldn't keep my promises. Even though I lived in America and had a good family, I was struggling. So, what was wrong? I used to blame the community, the country, and the government. I thought, if the Democrats win, things will go bad. If the Republicans stay, things will still be bad. The economy was bad, and so were the interest rates. But then I realized something. I was focusing on the wrong thing. The real problem was my own way of thinking. My own mistakes in how I saw things led me to have almost no money after 6 years, and I couldn't explain why I wasn't doing well, even though I lived in America, had a family, and had every reason to succeed. Now that I understood this, let me tell you the recipe for failure: making mistakes in your decisions and not taking your own personal beliefs seriously enough. Let me explain something to you. It's like a snowball effect of problems building up. It doesn't matter if it's your health or your money, if you ignore them, they'll get worse over time. For example, if someone's broke, they might also have health issues because they didn't take care of themselves over the past 6 years. Making mistakes, whether it's with money or your health, adds up. Just because you don't see the consequences right away, like not eating an apple today and feeling fine tonight, doesn't mean there won't be problems later. You need to be smarter than that. Eventually, you need to grow and learn from your mistakes. We make the desks small in first grade so they won't fit you at age 25. It's time to move on and grow up. Now, let me share with you the key to success and the recipe for failure. Making a few mistakes every day for a month weakens you and sets you on the path to disaster. Just think about what can happen in 6 years. But here's how you can succeed, practicing a few simple habits every day. By doing this, you're starting a whole new journey, a whole new life. If you choose today to make small positive choices, like picking an apple over a Hershey bar, you're taking the first step to change your life for the better. And if you keep up this process, not just with your health, but also with your money, communication, sales, management, and every other aspect of your life, you'll see remarkable changes. Start by getting rid of your mistakes and replacing them with good habits practiced consistently. You can begin this journey of transformation today. You don't have to stay the same anymore. It's all about your choice. You don't have to leave here today the same way you came in. It's up to you. You can kickstart a whole new journey. You might ask, is it really that easy, Mr. Rohn? Yes, it is. Why not start with something as simple as an apple? You don't need to begin with something complicated. What if you should be taking a walk around the block for your health, but you don't? That's a disaster waiting to happen. Imagine the impact in 6 years. It's a disaster, plain and simple. You could and you should, but if you don't, it's a problem. Here's an even stronger word, you won't. Saying don't might mean you're not careful, but won't probably means you're stubborn. Either way, it's a disaster. Can. Should. Don't. Let me tell you, that's why after 5 years, I found myself with only a few coins in my pocket, nothing in the bank, and creditors calling. Can, should, won't. Can, should, don't lead to disaster. Now, how do you fix all of that? In the following 6 years, I became wealthy. In those next 6 years, I became a millionaire. By the time I turned 31, I was a millionaire. Pretty amazing, right? You might ask, well, Mr. Rohn, what changed? Well, surprisingly, during that second 6-year period of my economic life, things were pretty much the same. Taxes remained constant. I still had negative relatives. Believe it or not, the economy was unchanged, and prices stayed steady. Circumstances didn't change. So, why did I become rich? Why did my life completely turn around? I was different. Someone might ask, so, what did you do to achieve all that? I began with my way of thinking. My philosophy. I started fixing my mistakes by doing some better thinking, changing my mind, and coming up with new ideas that I didn't have before I met my teacher. Once that whole process started for me, let me tell you, my entire life changed within 6 years. I was never the same, and I've continued that process all these years. One reason I'm here is to keep improving my skills. I don't want people to one day say, you should have heard Jim Rohn 10 years ago when he was really great. You know what I want? I want them to say, I heard him 10 years ago, but you should hear him now. I'm telling you, I put effort into improving myself. That's why I can deliver like I do. You know, the same good things can happen to you, whether you're a teenager, a parent, a business owner, or in any role you find yourself. It doesn't matter if you're in management or any other position. It's all about personal change. And here's what I suggest, begin with your own way of thinking. Your way of thinking will decide if you choose to follow good habits or keep making mistakes. It's a potential disaster, but everyone has the power to avoid it. When I was 25, Mr. Shelf told me something that made me really happy. He said, Mr. Rohn, you don't need to move to another country, but you do need to change your way of thinking. And if you change the way you think, not where you live, you can improve your income, your bank account, and your skills. You can become capable, powerful, healthy, and influential, everything you want in life. And you can do all this without changing anything else. Understand and accept all of these things, the good and bad, and why they sometimes work and sometimes don't. Don't question this. You don't need to wish for a different planet or a different country. Just ask for a new book, attend a seminar, or seek out a new idea, and you can begin the journey of changing your life. I could talk about philosophy all day because that's where it all begins. If I can get you interested enough to study and think about it, and to commit to it, like I did, then starting with simple things like eating an apple a day or taking a short walk can be a great way to begin. If you don't start there, where else will you start? It's best to start with something easy and then move on to more complex things.